This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for December 10, 2022. And in the news this afternoon, one of St. Catherine's most wanted shot dead by police. One of St. Catherine's most wanted, Barrington Cooley Campbell, was shot dead by police in Riversdale in the parish on Friday night. It is reported that about 11 p.m., Campbell opened fire on a police team, attempting to apprehend him on the Riversdale main road, hitting one of the cops. The lawmen returned the fire and Campbell was shot. Campbell and the injured policeman were taken to hospital, where the suspect died and the cop admitted. A firearm was seized in the incident. Campbell, 32, had been wanted for shooting with intent. He was known to frequent Big Lane and the Central Village. Cops identify men killed in Porous supermarket robbery. Police have identified the two people who were shot dead by gunmen during a robbery at a supermarket in Porous, Manchester on Friday night. 4 men were detained and 3 weapons seized following the daring incident. The dead men were identified as Jing Xianyi, a Chinese national who was one of the proprietors of the supermarket, and Alfonso Cohen. Among the 3 injured persons are 2 males, one of whom is unidentified, and a 25-year-old woman. Police said 2 of the suspects held are from Portmore St. Catherine and the other 2 from Kingston. Reports indicated that around 7:30 p.m., a group of men reportedly entered the supermarket and proceeded to rob its owner and the customers. The men reportedly fired several rounds, injuring Yi, Cohen, and the unidentified male. They then fired several shots indiscriminately on leaving the establishment. All 3 injured persons in the supermarket were taken to the Mandeville Hospital, where Yi and Cohen succumbed and the unidentified male rushed into surgery. The 2 other injured persons reported that they were across the road when they heard the explosions and drove themselves to the hospital. One received a graze to the lip and the left side of the abdomen, while the other was treated for a graze to the forehead. 2 cars that were driven by these persons were damaged by gunshots. Police said the suspects left the scene in a black Toyota Mark X, which was intercepted by the police along the Melrose bypass in the parish. The car was searched and 3 firearms, an AK-47 assault rifle, a pistol and a revolver were found and the 4 men detained. NIA reveals a significant increase in reports of corrupt acts. The anti-corruption watchdog agency National Integrity Action has revealed that reports of alleged corrupt acts this year has increased by close to 100% compared with previous years. Professor Trevor Monroe, Principal Director of NIA, disclosed at a National Anti-Corruption Day press conference on Friday that the reports were made to Crime Stop, Integrity Commission, and the Auditor General's office. He said he was encouraged by signs that more people are recognizing the need to combat corruption and are doing their part.
In relation to Crime Stop, up until the end of September this year, there were 946 tips and reports. That's almost 1,000. Do you know how that compares with 2021 for the same period? In 2021, up until the end of September, there were 525, almost double. That's what we want to see, the doubling of all of us coming forward to make those reports about wrongs when we see them. The national objective requires more urgent attention, MPs, to developing and observing an appropriate code of conduct to build the respect amongst our people for our parliamentarians and for our parliament, and of course, to punish misconduct amongst parliamentary colleagues. Let 2023 be the year when this commitment to develop a code of conduct made in 2009, let 2023 be the year when this commitment is fulfilled. It is absolutely unacceptable.
JC student killer seeks a 12-year cut in sentence. Kwasi Hart, the man who was given a life sentence after killing a Jamaica college student in 2016 following a robbery attempt, wants the court to appeal to reduce his 31-year pre-roll parole period by at least 12 years. Hart, whose matter is scheduled to be heard in appellate court on the week of December 19, is contending that his sentence is manifestly excessive. The convict, who is about 26 years old now, was sentenced in 2019 and ordered to serve 31 years in prison before being considered for parole after he pleaded guilty to the murder of 14-year-old Nicholas Francis, a crime which had sparked public outrage and heightened the concerns about the student's safety. The student, who was in third form, died at hospital several minutes after Hart plunged a knife into his chest during an altercation on a bus on October 26, 2016. Hart, who stabbed the student after attempting to steal his watch, had surrendered to the police 3 days later. The killer, who pleaded guilty just before the start of his murder trial, was sentenced almost 3 months later in the Home Circuit Court and was given a 10% discount. The 3 years that he had spent in custody before the sentencing were also subtracted from his sentence. Sentencing Judge Justice Lorna Shelley Williams had indicated that the starting point for the crime was 40 years, but after doing her calculation, it had whittled down to 31 years. Hart, however, appealed the sentence. Among the grounds of the appeal are that the judge had not followed the classical principles of the sentencing guidelines and had not sought to balance the mitigating and the aggravating factors, which resulted in Hart being given an excessive sentence. Another is that the judge did not give sufficient weight to Hart's age or his expression of remorse. Government prosecutors led evidence that on the day of the incident, Francis and Hart were seated beside each other on the minibus that was heading towards Halfway Tree, St. Andrew, when the teenager blurted out, "Talk to him now." It was later observed that the convicted killer was holding onto Francis's wristwatch and the teen was trying to brush him off. A fistfight reportedly broke out, but the two were quickly separated by one of two conductors who gave Francis a seat to the rear of the minibus. Prosecutors say that when the vehicle got to another bus stop located meters from JC, Hart took Francis's knapsack and tossed it out the door. It was reported that another JC student who was about to get on the bus picked up the bag. However, prosecutors say Hart stopped him, asking, "How you so enough? A for your bag?" When another passenger intervened and took up the bag, Hart again grabbed the knapsack and threw it to the ground. According to prosecutors, this triggered a second fist fight. Francis was stabbed on the hand and in the chest as the conductor tried to separate them. Crawford condemns double murder and widespread robberies in Manchester. Member of Parliament for Manchester Central, Rhoda Crawford, has condemned the Friday night's double murder and armed robbery at a supermarket in Poros, while expressing concern over the increasing number of robberies and shootings in the South Central parish. Crawford's constituency borders Manchester Southern in Poros. "I am extremely concerned about the number of robberies and shooting incidents, especially those that have amounted to fatalities of innocent residents. I mourn with the victims and their families," she said. Gunmen on Friday killed 2 people during a robbery at a supermarket in Poros. Crawford said the recent incidents of robberies in Manchester are frightening. "No law-abiding Manchesterian, none of us want to see Manchester become a hotspot for criminal activities," she said. She commended the police and military for apprehending suspects in relation to the robbery incidents. "I am encouraged by the swift action of the security forces in responding to each incident, especially last night's apprehension of 4 suspects and the seizure of firearms. I give my full support to the lawmen. I thank them for the sacrifice of putting their own lives at risk to keep us safe," she said. "I want to thank residents who have gone forward to share what they know with the police. We must not provide any safe haven for criminals," she added. She is urging citizens to assist the police. "I am appealing to my constituents and the residents of the wider Manchester to stay as calm as they can and to keep as safe as they can, and for us to continue to join hands with the security forces as we continue to battle the crime monster that is plaguing our parish and the country," she said. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.